Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news all right. Bears fans, buckle up because the NFL landscape in the NFC North might be shifting in a big way, and it's all centered around a potential blockbuster move involving Jacksonville Jaguars pass rusher Josh Hines-Allen. Yes, you heard that right. The buzz swirling around the league suggests that the Bears are in the mix to acquire this dominant edge defender, and if it happens, it could be a game changer not just for Chicago but for the entire division. Let's unpack what this all means, starting with the latest insider reports and what the Bears' plans might be moving forward. First, to set the scene, the Jacksonville Jaguars have been operating with a pretty solid team. They're currently sitting at an 8-4 record, which is nothing short of impressive considering the AFC South's unpredictable nature. But what's catching everyone's attention is the Jaguars' strategy. They're looking to free up cap space, especially with the upcoming contract extension for Trevor Lawrence, and that means they're willing to part ways with some valuable players. One of those players is Josh Hines-Allen, a 28-year-old edge rusher who's been making waves this season with his disruptive style and ability to get after the quarterback. Hines-Allen's numbers are eye-popping. Over his career, he's tallied 65 sacks, and this season alone, he's been a force to reckon with, racking up 20 solo tackles, 13 assists, and 33 combined tackles, along with 6 sacks. His pressure rate has been exceptional with a 24% win rate and an average of +1.9 pressures per game. What's more, he's been a huge factor in run defense, negating approximately 2-3 yards per run and making life miserable for offenses trying to establish the ground game. His performance against the Colts stands out, an 86.3 PFF grade, despite some struggles with double teams, and he's been notably better than Sweat in sacks this season, with a +1.1 margin. The Jaguars, however, are making a strategic move. They're prioritizing their cap space for other key players like Calvin Ridley, whose $22 million contract is a big part of their spending plan, and are focusing more on bolstering their offensive line rather than investing heavily in their pass rush. Their rebuild is subtle but effective, especially with a solid defense that's allowing just 35% on third downs. For Jacksonville, letting go of Hines-Allen makes sense. They're shopping him around for a first-round pick and a fourth-round pick in 2026, which is a pretty strong haul considering his production. Now, what does this mean for the Bears? Well, Chicago has been quietly building a formidable front. They currently have 28 sacks on the season and are allowing around 25.6 points per game. A solid defense, but one that could elevate even further with an addition like Hines-Allen. The Bears' pass rush, especially with the duo of Sweat and other emerging players, has been a bright spot this season. But adding a player of Hines-Allen's caliber would be like turbocharging that front. It's reminiscent of the impact Khalil Mack had when he arrived back in 2018, transforming the Bears' defense into one of the most feared in the league. His addition would give the Bears a legit duo of pass rushers, creating headaches for offenses and boosting their overall defensive metrics. Expect sacks to climb from around 28 to potentially close to 38, which would be a huge boost. Plus, the ripple effect on their overall defense would be significant. The Bears could see a decrease in points allowed, better third down stops, and an increase in turnovers, fumbles forced, interceptions, you name it. This kind of boost is exactly what Chicago needs to solidify their position atop the NFC North and push for a deeper playoff run. Looking at the bigger picture, the Bears' division rivals are also feeling the heat. The Detroit Lions, for instance, have been building a potent offense with Jared Goff and a dynamic group of skilled players. But if Chicago can add this kind of pass rush firepower, they can match or even surpass Detroit's offensive firepower. The odds for the Bears to make a deep playoff run are already climbing, with betting odds moving from +4,000 to +1,800 for the Super Bowl and from +160 to win the NFC North. That's a huge shift, and it underscores how much this potential acquisition could turn the tide in Chicago's favor. The wild card here is how quickly the deal could materialize. The NFL trade deadline is approaching, And if the Bears see the opportunity to acquire Hines Allen for a first-round pick and a future pick, they might pull the trigger. It would be a bold move, but given how much this defense has already improved and how close they are to contention, it could be the piece that puts them over the top. The fans are already excited about the prospect. Imagine the roar in Soldier Field if Hines Allen dons the Bears' jersey and immediately impacts a game. But let's not forget the context. This is a league that values depth and pass rush talent more than ever. With the season progressing, teams are looking for that extra edge, and Chicago's front office is no different. If they can get Hines Allen, it's not just about adding a player. It's about sending a message to the rest of the league that the Bears are all in, ready to contend seriously for the postseason and beyond. What's especially promising is how this move would fit into Eberflus' defensive scheme, which heavily relies on a relentless pass rush and aggressive front seven play. Hines Allen's ability to collapse the pocket and disrupt plays would complement Sweat's speed and power perfectly, creating a nightmare for offenses trying to scheme around our pass rush. And with the Bears' improving secondary, the overall defensive picture looks even more promising. This synergy could turn the Bears' defense into a top-tier unit that strikes fear into opponents every week. Now, looking ahead, the impact of adding Hines Allen isn't just immediate. It's about the long-term outlook, too. Chicago has already made significant strides this season, showing resilience and growth, especially on defense. This could be the final piece to elevate them from a good team to a true contender. Plus, with the NFC North being more competitive than ever, every game counts, and having a dominant pass rush could be the key in tight divisional matchups. You also have to consider the psychological boost this would give the Bears' locker room. When players see a move like this happening, it sends a clear message: they're serious about winning now. It energizes the entire roster and builds confidence that the front office is willing to do whatever it takes to bring a championship back to Chicago. That's the kind of leadership and vision fans want to see. Of course, there are questions. Will the Jaguars really trade Hines Allen? What will it cost? And how quickly can the Bears integrate him into their system? These are the things we'll be watching as the deadline approaches. But the possibility alone has been enough to excite the fan base, and for good reason. The Bears' journey back to dominance might just get a serious boost with this move. In the grand scheme of things, this potential acquisition highlights the strategic shifts happening across the league. Teams are realizing that pass rushers are worth their weight in gold, especially those who can generate sacks and disrupt offenses at a high level. The Bears, with their young core and promising defense, seem poised to capitalize on this trend if the opportunity presents itself. And if it does, the NFC North better watch out, because the Chicago Bears are setting themselves up for a serious run, and Hines Allen could be the secret weapon that seals the deal. In conclusion, Bears fans, keep your fingers crossed and stay tuned because this story isn't over yet. The NFL trade deadline is always full of surprises, and this one could be a defining moment for Chicago's season. Imagine the roar of Soldier Field when Hines Allen arrives, ready to wreak havoc and help lead the Bears to new heights. It's an exciting time to be a fan, and we'll be right here, breaking down every development, every rumble, and every game-changing move. So stay fired up, keep believing in this team, and let's see what the future holds for our beloved Chicago Bears. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to US and TO, the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news.